Welcome to Soft Life Secrets, the space where we heal, evolve, and make softness our strategy. Today's episode is a divine appointment. I'm joined by a woman who is as spirit-led as she is science-rooted. She's a certified neuroscience, life coach, and business coach, and an international speaker, author, and CEO of Flawless Fitness Spa. We're talking about the mental strongholds that quietly shape our lives, the patterns we inherit but don't question, and how to unlearn what no longer serves us so we can walk fully in the purpose God intended. If you ever felt stuck in cycles you can't explain, or if you know deep down that you called to do more but don't know how to access it, this conversation is for you. Let's get into the science of freedom, the softness of surrender, and the steps to true alignment. Let's get right into it. Welcome, Deliqua. Did I say it right?
Yes, you did.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Jesus. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so before we get into coaching and science, tell us, who were you before the titles?
Ooh, honey. How far back do we want to go?
As far back as you want to take us.
So, broken.
Broken?
Broken. I don't like to use that word, but
Okay.
that's what the norm is, right? They like to say broken. Unhealed. Confused. I was anxiety.
Okay.
I was a single mom.
Okay.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay.
That was it.
So what was the personal journey that brought you here today?
The personal journey was healing
Healing.
and transformation. A little bit of my story, molested from age 5 to 12, raped in my early 20s, went through a lot of domestic disputes, single mom at age 15, had my second child by age 18. And so it wasn't until my daughter and my son were talking, they were at elementary school. I was in my early 20s, and she said that she wanted to be like her mom. That broke me because all she knew was a strong Black woman, but she didn't realize that I was depressed and that I was crying myself to sleep, and I was angry. And so that night I made a decision to heal. I got on my knees and said, God, what do I need to do? Because I cannot continue to be like this, because I wanted to change the way that they both saw me and change their experience. I didn't want to hand down my trauma.
Wow, that's interesting because a lot of people don't take that in consideration. Like, trauma is generational.
Generational. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
I'm sorry you had to go through that.
Okay. Through the pain, I rise. Literally.
Wow.
Literally.
Is that what inspired you to write your first book?
Well, no, I'm going to say this. It was in 2007. I went through my healing journey, and my cousin's boyfriend at the time, we were Essence. And we were standing on Canal Street in front of the Marriott, and he was like, I need to say something to you. And I'm like, no, you're going to leave me alone because you done got on my nerves. And he was like, no, there's a book inside of you. You're going to help a lot of people.
Wow.
And I called him everything but the child of God and told him I was not doing that. And that was in 2007. And when I moved to Atlanta, because I'm from Florida.
Okay.
So when I moved to Atlanta in 2015, it was actually in October, I heard the words, through the pain I rise. I didn't know what they meant. I just took note. It felt like something. And fast forward, it was 2 years, 2 years before my 40th birthday. And God said, now it's time to write and tell your story. Wow. And I was like, I did. I put it on Facebook. He said, no. And my mind immediately went back to that moment when Cedric told me, you're going to write a story and it's going to help people. Wow. So that's how the book came.
Shout out to Cedric.
Exactly.
Whoever you are. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you're certified in neuroscience, but you also speak deeply about spiritual alignment.
Yes.
How do these two worlds work together in your coaching practice?
I don't look at them as two separate worlds because we are science. When we look at our anatomy, we look at our bodies, we're science, but we're also spirit, we're also soul, right? So we have to integrate that and know how to tap into the both of them. And so the mind is a very powerful thing. The mind keeps us in our limits and beliefs. It keeps us held back because our mindsets are taught to us.
You're right.
From the time we got out of the womb.
You're right.
We're taught how to do certain things, and those certain things don't serve us. So getting someone to understand that is the first thing, right? Getting them to understand that the behaviors and the mindset they have currently is not whom God has called them to be or designed them to be. A lot of times they're holding on to identities of the past or identities that their parents have handed down to them.
Wow.
So that's how I get it to merge.
Oh, that's deep. Okay, so what does mental bondage mean to you? And how can it show up in ways that we don't even recognize?
Oh, honey. Mental bondage, they're often blind spots, right? It can be the way that you think that is hindering you. It can be your behaviors, self-sabotaging behaviors that hinder you. And that's how it shows up. And a lot of people, they say, well, I have anxiety. That's a trigger for me. Okay, you're hiding behind the identity. I had anxiety. I was diagnosed at severe anxiety disorder as a teenager. Placed on medication, right? Taking pills. My trigger was speaking, but that was not the cause of my anxiety. So anytime the teacher would call me up to speak, I would have a severe panic attack. They would have to rush me off. They didn't realize that I was having anxiety attacks. They thought it was my asthma. Until one doctor was like, she in here as often as I am. What's going on with you? He started asking questions. And those questions revealed I had anxiety, right? And so I didn't take on, let me say this, I took on the identity of it, anxiety, for a good period of time. In my healing, I released the anxiety.
Wow, look at him.
So I tell people sometimes mental bondage is holding on to those things that do not serve you. Anxiety didn't serve my purpose. I told you, the trigger was speaking.
Right.
I speak for a living now.
What? I was just getting ready to say, you don't look like you ain't had no anxiety.
So that's what, right? And so we hold on to things that keeps us in bondage because we are unwilling to go through the healing process.
Wow.
So that's how it showed up for me, and that's how I released it. So I get to show other people how things are showing up for them.
For them.
And so the cause of my anxiety, the root of the problem was because when I was 5 and I told that I was being molested, I got a whipping. So the power of my voice, the power
felt like you didn't have a voice.
Exactly. The power of understanding my worth and who I am was dismantled. So I had to go through a process of reconnecting back to my higher self, which is my God self.
This is a whole nother show, this topic. I mean, like 5 years old. And I mean, I've been told, and I personally can't say but I've been told people that have gone through that, they remember from the very first day.
You do.
And just to have to walk this life with that on your show.
There's no way. I see it from people and I'm like, you really need to take care of that. You need to get that little girl off you.
Yes.
Because she's screaming, she's showing up.
And it shows up as an adult.
And people don't understand that.
My heart goes out to anyone that has been in that situation because I just can't imagine. I can't.
Yeah. It's deep. Yes, it's
that's
deep.
a different show.
It's deep.
Okay, so many of us are living out patterns we didn't choose, just inherited. What we talked about. How do you start identifying what needs to be unlearned?
Self-reflective questions is the big thing. Meditation is a big thing. When you ask, one of the things, people don't ask this question. Some people do. Who am I? God, who am I that you are so mindful of? Who am I? I think it's big because a lot of people don't really ask themselves that. They think they know who they're supposed to be, right? Based upon society, their parents, or you're supposed to go to school, you're supposed to be a doctor, you're supposed to become this. Well, who's that? Who said that that's what God has for you?
Right.
We will take on identities that
our parents gave us.
That, for example, we hear it all the time. And we wear it like it's a rite of passage. Oh, you're supposed to go to the struggle in order to be successful. Because we've heard the stories of so many great people that were home this and that before they became. But what if that is not your story? What if you're just supposed to be successful? But what if it's hindered because you took on the identity of struggle?
Girl.
So it's getting people to see these things that we learn from our parents.
Right.
We were taught struggle from our parents, but that doesn't mean that we have to embody it and make a soul tie with it.
Right. Oh, Lord, have mercy. This is deep, y'all. Can you walk us through how the brain actually, and talk about this science thing you got going on over here. Can you walk us through how the brain actually rewires when we start breaking toxic patterns and beliefs?
It's neuroplasticity.
Okay.
And so,
say that word again for the audience.
Neuroplasticity. And so the brain goes through a process of adapting to change. It's how quickly it does that. Right? Lived experiences. So you have to begin to fire new neurons and create new neural pathways, new neural architecture. And you do that by reprogramming the way your mind works, right? And so, again, when people constantly say, I'm struggling, I'm this, I'm that, right? You have to be careful with I am, because whatever you say after I am, you become. And so that's science, right? And so when you begin to speak positive, power of life and death is in the tongue, right? We say that, but do we really believe that, and do we really own that?
Right.
And so when you begin to speak those things, you have to understand that your brain is sending signals through your body. And so if the signal is toxic, whatever it is, it's chemicals being released. People become addicted to their thoughts because of the chemical. It's no different than someone being addicted to someone else because the same chemical is being released. So if we're going to release chemicals in our bodies to rewire our brain, let's produce chemicals that make us feel good. So this is the process of getting rid of the toxic behavior, the toxic traits, the toxic mindset by replacing it, getting up every morning doing something differently with intentions, with the way that we speak. Affirmations, don't go to Google. Your affirmations should come from you
within.
And so once you begin to tap into that and begin to speak those things differently, your brain is rewiring itself, because now it is adapting to the change that you are requiring.
Right. This sounds familiar, right? Okay, so you've said before that many women are out of alignment with God's intended purpose. Not just women, but men as
too.
well.
Yes.
What causes that misalignment?
Identity. Not knowing who they are.
Not knowing.
Not tapping in to find out who they are. Not taking that time and that space.
Not accepting
who
they are.
And because self-acceptance is a big part of it, right? Self-identity is a big part of it. And so when a woman hasn't really healed, that identity of the unhealed version of her causes her to be out of alignment. Healing is, healing is dimensional. It's not the same for everybody. And it's you got to go deep in the healing. You can't just say I forgave and now I'm healed. No, there's work.
Right.
It's a process. And so when you are unwilling to go through that process, a lot of times you become misaligned because you're not walking in the true identity of who you were called and chosen to be.
Okay, do you think if it was not for your kids, you would have found your real identity?
She was definitely the spark. I'm trying to tell you. I mean, I give her credit all the time, and she does because she was so young. She don't even remember. But I think in me, because I always knew that there was something greater in me. I've always had that pull. So I think eventually I would have found it.
Okay.
I would have found it. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, what role does stillness,
Honey,
or softness play in actually hearing from God or discerning His direction?
that's the main ingredient, stillness, because people get caught up in prayer, but they don't want to do meditation, right? And we were taught meditation was bad. You're worshiping Buddha, but meditation is a form of being still.
It is.
So that you can hear your higher consciousness speak, lead you, and guide you. So you can't be soft if you walk around in your own way all the time on the go, let me get this done, let me get that done. That's not soft. You have to rest.
You have to rest.
You have to rest. So I think being quiet, tuning into your higher self, your higher consciousness, your God self, the Holy Spirit, whatever people
Whatever you believe.
whatever you believe,
Whomever you believe.
it turned into your internal truths. And you can only get that by being quiet and still. And that creates the softness.
I like to sit, and people think it's the weirdest thing. People will come to my house and be like, you sitting in the house with nothing, no TV, no radio? I don't even realize it's not on. That's my time. A lot of times I'll drive in the car,
No music.
in silence. And I'm happy. I'm at peace. That's my time.
I get you.
And I feel like my thoughts, I hear what I think I'm supposed to hear, and that's just my peace.
Yes.
That's my time.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. Okay, so as a CEO and coach, how do you help high-achieving women and men shift from performance to peace?
Identity. Everything is identity.
Everything.
Has to do with identity. Performance is a part of who we are, right? We get up, got to perform, right? And so
that some people don't know how to turn it off.
And so getting them to go deep within, to understand their value supersedes their performance. A lot of people like to say their value is their performance. No. No. Your value, your internal value supersedes your performance. So getting people to understand what that is. And not to believe it, to know it. Because there's a difference in believing and knowing.
Right.
And I think as we mature in our spirituality, in our walk with God, we know some things. It's no longer a matter of belief. So getting them to know some things about themselves, getting them to shut and quiet the noise, and getting them to place more value in themselves, they'll see their performance go up. But they'll also see that they have a greater sense of peace because they understand that they ain't got to perform no more. They can just show up and be.
That's crazy. Okay, so I am loving this. Alrighty, so you run Flawless Fitness Spa. Earlier you were saying you don't train anymore unless necessary. How does the work you do there tie into the emotional and spiritual work you guide women and men through?
Our bodies it's mental first, right? So it's mind-body connection. A lot of people do body-mind. They let their body dictate what they're going to do, right? And so getting women or anyone to understand that your physical well-being and your mental well-being is just as important as your financial well-being. And a lot of times your emotional self is tied to your physical. And so if your emotions are out of whack, your physical is out of whack.
You're right.
Weight goes up and down, right? And a lot of times it goes up and down because you're unwilling to deal with that pat on your shoulder, that inner cry that's coming out on the inside of you. So that's how I get, in my consultations, when I used to do fitness, they used to say, I thought I was here for a fitness. And I said, well, before you can work with me, there are some things that we need to establish.
Right.
And so the assessment was not just a physical assessment, it was a mental and emotional assessment, because I need you to be able to sustain this. This cannot be a superficial experience.
Right.
And so I would ask certain questions just to get a feel for their mindset. Where are you? How are you going to show up in these sessions? Because I understand your responses is going to let me know how I need to help you. We're going to do the workout, but I also need to help you here. And if you are unwilling to go here, then I can't help you with the workout, because it's the waste of my time and your money.
Wow. Wait, so have you ever turned some people away?
Oh, yes. I done fired clients and turned them away. I done did it all. I done told people, you're not ready yet.
Wow.
Because
how did they receive that?
they didn't receive it well. And I told them, I'm just not her. And I own it. I'm not her.
Right.
And if you want somebody to take your money, then I got some people I can send you to.
Right.
I've had other trainers tell me, you care too much. You take all the problematic. They want people that come in the gym that look like they already done been, but I get those people that got issues, mental and emotional, and it's showing in their bodies.
Right.
And that requires a lot of patience. So I've had some people say to me, because I done looked at them and told them about their childhood trauma. And if you want to work with me, we got to work on that.
Right.
And if you are unwilling, then I can't work with you.
See, I like that, because even in my business, all money ain't good money.
There you go.
And it's been clients I've turned down for the simple fact that my peace means more to me.
It's far more important than any dollar.
Okay. Oh, gosh. Okay. So, what is the one daily mental, spiritual, and physical practice that you can recommend to help men and women when they live in alignment?
Grounding, doing grounding work. Now that can be different for everybody. I'm a tree hugger. That's a form of grounding. I used to think it was weird, but when we was kids, we hugged trees.
You go outside
and hug a tree. Now, listen, I don't hug any tree.
Okay.
It's spiritually led.
Okay.
So if I'm outside, I'm walking, and I hear, go hug that tree, then that's the tree I'm going to hug. Because when I have just done it on my own, I didn't feel it. But when I go by the leading, by the guidance, there is an exchange. You will literally feel the energy being transferred. Wow. And there is another sense of peace that hits your body like a wave. Even taking off your shoes and walking barefoot, there are certain places where if I don't hear stand there, I'm not going to stand. Wow. But if I go stand over here, it may feel like my body is being pulled into the ground. And then there's a wave of energy that goes through that is very calming. So tree hugging is one, but we got to get back to the things. Because when we were kids, we used to go sit up under the trees. Yeah. And if you can remember how you felt very calm. You felt very at peace. Yeah. You go stand.
The first thing you do is go run and sit up under the tree. As soon as we went out to recess, we were running.
But that was the natural vibration pulling you. But now, because of mindset, because of things, we overanalyze these things. But there's spiritual things that God has placed here in the universe for us to take hold to. The sun. That's another thing. They just go stand outside in the sun. Oh, girl, it's hot outside. The sun is draining me. It is supposed to. But we have to think about it this way. The process of the sun in your body. We're magnetic beings. Right. The sun is recharging us. So it feels like we're being drained. But think about it. After you go in the sun, you come back home and you sit back down. You may take a nap or whatever. It ain't the nap that recharged you.
It's the sun.
It was the sun that did it.
I love the sun, honey.
So,
as dark as I am, I'll be out there tanning. Like, what are you doing? I love the sun. Love it.
Love it.
One thing I was going to say was the grounding. I started doing it about 3 years ago. I had heard about the grounding, go outside bare feet, and it was probably right when my dad passed away.
Okay.
It was a different thing. And then I saw birds. I could hear them clearly. It was the most unique thing. And every morning I made it a point when I got home from the gym, I would go outside, walk barefoot, or just stand there. And it's this little red bird that will fly by every morning. And if I didn't see the bird, I would stay out there until I seen that bird.
So, and this is the thing, people, I'm so glad you brought this up. I'm so glad you brought this up. So, birds carry messages, and we have to pay attention to them, the colors and the different things. And in my experience, there are times where I may have a question that morning, and my thing is always, what are my solutions for the day? Not what I need, right? Because need keeps you in the space of need. What are my solutions for the day? And I can have something on my mind, and I can go outside, and I can walk. And it's very intentional. That whatever the bird is, it will literally come fly eye level so that I can see it. I can be walking and my attention will go to this particular tree branch because of the vibrational pull. These things, spiritually led. People think that, oh God, I don't want to get too deep.
Go there. Go.
People read the Bible like it's a history book of events. The Bible is meant to be decoded.
Right.
A lot of people aren't decoding the Bible.
No, they're reading.
Like it's a history book.
Right.
So if the Bible is mentioning the skull, but y'all think it's a location because it says Gotha, but when you go into it, it says Jerusalem, the place of the skull, higher consciousness, the mind, spiritual connection. Why aren't we going there? Why are we looking at these things as history and not decoding the messages? So when we see birds, why aren't we decoding the messages that the bird is sending us?
That's interesting.
And if you look up the spiritual meaning of that bird, it will give you the message that you were supposed to receive.
I know a lady at the gym was telling me, she was like, because I kept telling her, I see this red bird every day.
It's a message.
And it was right after my dad passed away. She said, that's your father. And I was like, huh? She's like, he's checking on you, and he's letting you know he's okay.
It's okay.
And at that moment, I bought the grounding sheets, the pillowcase.
Bought it all.
I went grounding crazy.
Bought it all. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let me go back to this one. Is a good one. Okay, so if a woman is listening right now, feeling stuck in patterns that no longer serve her, but afraid to change, what would you say to her?
Permission. Give yourself permission to decide and choose something differently. And that is the wording, but the intentions is to get up and move after that. Take inspired actions. Actions that are in alignment with what you want and what you desire. Actions that does not represent your current situation. Actions that represents the abundance that is within you. Everything you need is on the inside of you. We're taught to look out in this external world.
Right.
But when you tap into your internal knowing, your internal truth, your God self, you understand that anything that you need, you have the power to create it. Because we're creators.
Right.
So give yourself permission to decide, to choose something different and walk in that power.
Okay. This has been amazingly deep. Okay, so in one sentence, what's your secret to living a soft life that's also spirit-led and mentally free?
Turning inward, getting quiet,
Getting
sitting still. Boundaries, I don't have to state them. I just got to walk in them.
Oh,
I ain't got to tell you, this is my boundary, this is my line, don't you cross it.
Right.
The boundary is for me to honor and honor that. And being in alignment with my chakra system, being in alignment with my divine feminine energy and power, my creativity, understanding that my personal power says no today.
right. And it's okay.
And it's okay. So that's it. That's it. That's it. That's it.
I love it. Can you tell them where they can find you on all social media
On all social
platforms?
media, it's my name, Deliqua Isom. On LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, and my website is deliquaisom.com.
What a rich and necessary conversation. I think I'm going out to hug a tree. You are not crazy, lazy, or broken. You're likely just conditioned. And now you have the language and tools to get free. My guest reminded us that healing isn't just emotional or spiritual, it's neurological. And when we let God into the place we've mentally blocked, we start walking in purpose and not pain. If this episode blessed you, share it with the women who's tired of fighting silent battles. Subscribe, leave a review, and come back next week for more Soft Life Secrets. Until then, be gentle with your thoughts, fierce in your faith, and soft with your soul. You're already becoming who God called you to be.